Oh, we have arrived, people. It is game day. And we have so much to talk about. It is our college football kickoff edition, and we may or may not have a few words of Detroit Lions later, but we do have to begin. I think there are a lot of people like Mr. Rico Beard who, whether it is tonight with Michigan State, tomorrow with Michigan, or wherever you root or matriculated, Rico has said tonight would be the night he would figure out whether he still loved the game or whether he is actually closer to where I'm at with college football. That the NIL and the portal, that really anything not related to gambling has kind of killed the zest for it all. So this is exciting. Now, you have your rows and you're headed to Spartan Stadium tonight. Now, who are you setting up to look like an idiot on TV tonight? Like you did to Cookies last year.
Okay, for the record.
Who you setting up?
I got Cookies in I upgraded his seats. It was just a coincidence that the cameras happened to catch Cookies eating sad pizza.
Hey, Cookies and Lady Cookie. Hey, here are my seats. Upgrade. Cut scene. You look like morons on national TV.
It was just a mere coincidence.
Are you setting David up tonight?
No. Maybe
Hatchet Man will be in the building tonight.
Maybe the bad son.
I'm just waiting for Rico to say, hey, son, stand right here. It's a great spot on the sideline. Up next, steamrolled by a special teams gunner.
We bring back the Spartan Chariot.
David's kid caught underneath it. All right.
Mistakes were made.
So last night we watched college football. Now, you had a different reaction than I did, but I want to also involve the people. Look, maybe you're on your way up there now. I don't know what the new tailgating rules are at State. After all, it needs to be 1984 George Orwell at Michigan State.
Can you just have fun today?
I am. I'm having a great time. The point I'm making is whether you're driving up there right now or whether you're watching the game, is there an element of this where you're like, I need to see it to see what I still even have left, what I even feel about this sport? David, you're flapping your wings over there. You okay? What's going on?
No, we're good. We're good.
Only thing he was missing was the little cones to land the plane. I'm like, what the hell are you doing back there? But this is exciting for me. There's a lot on the line, especially you having to tell me, Mike, you're not totally crazy. Or you're going to get all of the feels. You're just going to be right back to it. So here's how we're doing The Bachelor.
Okay.
You either, with your rose for college football, the minute Tim Brando, 7 bourbons deep, is on your television tonight, love at first sight, take my rose. Let's get married. Choice B. There are some redeeming qualities, but we have to work on this relationship before I give you my rose.
TBD?
Or choice C. Bitch, set me up. You walk in and she's nailing Charlie Baker. So which of these three is it going to be for college football for you guys tonight? As Rico takes that long stem rose and brings it back to campus. I don't think Rico's handing those out at the game tonight. That's reserved for the dentist.
So okay, you know what? You know what? No. You're going to be a problem.
It's Friday. It's great. Which of these three? Because last night, let's just get to it.
Yeah.
You were in love.
Last night, Mike, if it's anything like last night, I'm probably going to go ahead and give the rose and say I'm back for college football. Because the reason being, I just got into the games. I'm just watching. Whether it was spite watching Colorado and hoping that North Dakota State could somehow they would put one more second back on the clock so that they could win that game.
They should have put 4 seconds on the clock.
I realized that I knew that I was back in when then I turned and I started watching the Carolina-Minnesota game, which was not a great game.
Listen, if you had UNC -1.5, it was electric.
But here's the one thing that really I this morning when I woke up, I realized last night I didn't care about any NIL package. I didn't care about how much money some kid was making. I didn't care about where this kid transferred, how many times they've transferred. I just got into the game. I totally forgot about all of that stuff. And I just went back to it's college football, and I enjoy it. And I want to watch it. Now, for Michigan State, yes, I'll be back in. Doesn't mean they're going to have a great season. But, yeah, I thought maybe it would affect my feelings. So far, no. If last night is any indication, I mean, I'll even go back to last week, and I thought maybe last week I'll let it go because it was just football being back. The Florida State Georgia Tech game, like, okay, maybe I just haven't seen football in a while. But, man, I'm sitting here watching the end and watching Minnesota miss a field goal.
You hate to see it.
And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed this. I'm bopping around watching different games, watching Illinois wax whoever they played 48-0. Like, yeah, it was cool to watch.
All right, so I want to know from you guys. 248-539-9797 as we kick off in earnest college football 2024. Where do you stand with the sport? And if we put it in bachelor terms, does the sport immediately, the minute you get home tonight, let's say you're a State fan, and you see the aerial view of a mostly empty Spartan Stadium, do you just hand your rose over, I'm back, and fall into college football's arms? Or is there a little more resistance? I got you $1, but, you got to work for that rose. Or is it the worst case? You turn on the television, you walk in, and it's the end of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There's no furniture. You're just standing there going, where's my college football I once loved and knew? Look, I'm at the other end of the spectrum. For me, if I didn't bet on the games last night, I wouldn't have given a flying you-know-what. I can't change it. Now, I'll be interested when I watch tonight is like, what level of engagement will I have with my own team? I don't know. 61 new players, and if you pressed me to name them, I might be able to get you 20. And unlike Rico, not that it's right and wrong, it's different. Some people like burritos, other people prefer tacos. It's not wrong. I do have a problem with like 24-year-old Max Johnson before his leg blew up, playing at his Fort school. Get a job already. Enough. This is ridiculous. So where are you guys going to be at as we start? And again, for Michigan, it's a bit of a different question based on you've had massive success. Forget about the off-field stuff. It's just football being back. Do you love it the way you once did? And it's totally okay if the answer is yes. I think a majority of people, it'll still be yes. But I think there are a growing number of people in the middle going, I like it. I just don't know if I love it. And then I know the minority is people like me, where it's like, man, F this. This is stupid.
See, I think a lot of the people who like it, I don't know if I love it, will depend upon how well your team is doing. If your team is winning, you forget about all of this foolishness.
It's really about the bets.
Yeah. I mean, for
how
you,
are the bets doing?
It's the best. But I do think, Mike, you and people like you are in the minority where it's like, okay,
yeah,
you don't like the overall change because it has changed. But it's one where I think for most people, they may check out in February when the last football game is played and check back in the last week of August because I don't want to know about the offseason stuff. I don't want to hear about the portal stuff. It's just going to make me depressed. I don't want to talk about it.
You going artisanal pretzel tonight or melting moments?
Oh, melting moments.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Did you have to ask that question?
I didn't know. You were the one who defended the Beakster and his stupid pretzel idea outside of Section 8. David, what do you have on the ticket text?
Why is Bill Beekman taking straights?
Unbelievable. It's great. I'm back in, but I might be biased. I was already in Ireland to watch Georgia Tech pop FSU in the mouth.
Fantastic.
Anyone who stopped watching college football or had their opinion change at all with NIL or anything are crybaby losers.
Not going to go that far.
I guess he never left.
Really? Like,
okay, but
I'm a loser because I just disagree with a rudderless. Okay,
it's where our society is. If you disagree with somebody, then you're the enemy. You don't have to be the enemy, Mike. I've never tried to sway you and say, Mike, you really should give it a try, because it's your feelings, it's your emotions. But That's where we are. I'm sorry, David.
Continue.
I watched a few football games last night and enjoyed it. Just different than baseball and exciting. I wanted to kill Greg Schiano, though, or whatever his name is.
Oh, because they blew the cover? Or if they had rubbed it in late and it blew the total and the yeah, that was a James Franklin move last night. I read about it, didn't watch it. Sorry, Rutgers and Howard didn't make my list.
No, it was entertaining for about the first quarter or so. Then after that, now what I didn't like was the fact that the Minnesota North Carolina game was in a rain delay. Didn't need to see the Joel Klatt Sharon Moore interview.
I was told about it and I stayed away from it. Like Evan texted me and I'm like, well, yeah, you've just insured. I'm not flipping over to that. But again, it is.
I'm like, what is this? It's in a rain delay.
That's a Mark Silverman production. U of M superfan, boss of Fox Sports. Here you go. Enjoy. Not doing it. By the way, interesting note on Sharon's contract. I wonder why it's like that. Weird.
Okay, so yeah, I picked up on that too in the
I'll leave
update,
it alone.
So
I'll leave it alone. David, continue.
I used to prefer college over the NFL. Now with the transfers and the Lions being a Super Bowl team, I prefer the NFL. So I am not giving the rose. Nort from Pickney.
See, it is interesting when you roll in the Lions. I mean, the Lions are a unifying force, whether it's Spartans, Wolverines, Buckeyes, or anything in between. The Lions not only being good but great. You do wonder if it takes away, because NFL, it's how do I describe it? Like, it makes college football look like a circus, if that makes sense.
It's different, Mike. College football, except for like in states like, Georgia where college is bigger, was always the appetizer. But in this city, you got filled off of appetizers because the pro team was no good.
Or as Kenny calls them, whores divorce.
Right. So, yeah, it was, the Lions was rancid meat. It was like, I'm not eating that. Where now it's good. So college football is kind of you take it for what it is.
Okay.
It's a different type of game. It's probably a more fun, high scoring, big plays. Because in the NFL, there's a lack of big plays. Whereas in college, you will, like the opening kickoff of Bowling Green gets taken back to the house. Like Shedeur Sanders, and as he escaped the pocket and throws it deep down the field to Jimmy Horn Jr. Like, there's plays like that you don't necessarily get in the pros.
Rico's Rose. Is he falling back into bed with his ex? Magic 8 Ball says yes. Where are you at with college football tonight?
It's not the ex. We just needed some time to talk about.
To work through your problems?
Yeah.
I want to know where you're at with it. Season begins tonight. You got a little taste test last night. It's just a matter of the Rose, I'm in love again. I think I'll end up getting there, but I got work to do, or I'm out, and the only thing that matters is the betting. 248-539-9797. We'll get your calls next, 97.1.